So you guys want to know about lanes? Well, y'all came to the right place. So hang on, let me get this intro out the way so we can talk about it. Let's go.
Love me, I'm on my cool J. If you get what I get, what would you say? She wax it all off, Mr. Miyagi. And them suicide doors, Ari Kari. Look at me now, look at me now, oh. I'm getting paper, look at me now, oh. Look at me now, yeah.
What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of Trucking Truth. I am your boy, Aaron Hamilton, and today we're going to be talking about lanes. Now, what is lanes? What lanes am I talking about? Okay, first off, hold on. Okay, if you don't know what lanes is, I'm sorry. We're not talking about any ordinary lane. We're talking about freight lane. And here's what a freight lane is. It's basically a typical lane that freight picks up and where freight delivers. Okay? So if you want to know, like here's a lane from Chicago, Illinois to Columbus, Ohio. That's a lane. Okay? So it's basically a lane is where you pick up freight and where it delivers to. Okay? So that's all a lane is, okay? Now, how to understand a lane? Well, how do you understand a lane? Really? Y'all don't know how to understand a lane? All right, I'm just joking, man. Here's basically how to understand a lane. Understanding the lane is looking at, what type of freight is being moved from basically point A to point B, okay? How much is that particular lane on an average is paying to move that freight from point A to point B. And then it's also calculated to the cost per mile, or the how much they're paying per mile, okay, on an average. So it's not that you're going to pick up a load from point A to point B and you're going to make the same rate on the miles as what the average rate is. So it's just an average rate per mile that trucks or carriers are getting paid in that particular lane. Okay? Now, another thing you might want to understand about lanes is everything that I've covered in my last 3 videos, which is the cost of operation, also researching, and negotiation, also involves this, okay? Goes into this. A lane is basically just an average on what it is, but it's broken down by the commodity and it's broken down by the miles, okay? So, and a bit better to understand that is to study or research the lanes, and that is one of the particular things in trucking that's going to be a constant for you to do, especially if you're an owner operator or a carrier operating out here in the 48 states. Okay, understanding your lanes too also keeps you out of situations that could cause you, especially if you go to an area that is dead, okay, and now you're stuck sitting a couple of days because you can't even find a load to get you out of a place. Just like Midland, Texas, giving you an example. I could get a load from Houston to Midland. I can go from anywhere I'm at right now to Midland, Texas, and I deliver, but it'll be hard for me to get out of it. There's usually not a lot of loads that come out of Midland, Texas. Okay? So, knowing your lanes can help prevent that. Knowing your lanes can also help you to not go into a particular area that is not getting paid pretty well out, or not getting paid at all out, okay, per mile. Okay? Now, as I have stated before, every lane is different. Wherever you pick up, depending on the commodity, depending on where you're going, it's going to be different. So 3 of us can pick up out of Chicago. I got a drive-in, or I got a flatbed. Guy beside me got a drive-in. I'm actually got a drive-in right now, so we ain't confused. But scenario. I got a flatbed, the guy beside me got a drive-in, and the guy beside him has got a reefer. And we all pick up in Chicago, and we're all going to the same place. All because we got 3 different trailer types, okay? 3 different types of commodity, okay? You're most likely, none of us are going to get paid the same, okay? None of us are going to get paid the same. Even if all 3 of us had drive-ins, was picking up in Chicago, going to the same place, all because we all 3 have different commodity, means that it's going to be getting paid the lane. You're going to get paid different in that particular lane. So you got to look at the commodity, you got to look at the weight, and you also got to look at the miles. Okay, so doing your research in a particular lane, you can find out the average of what they're paying per mile. For your type of trailer that you're using on the back. You can also for the type of trailer, the type of commodity, and basically stuff like that. One of the tools that I use to help me, as well as basically to try to figure out what is the best lane for me to run in, is DAT trend lines. You can get on Google DAT trend lines, and you can basically look up these particular type of information on DAT trend lines, which is part of DAT 360 or DAT load boards, which DAT stands for dial a trucker. It's an old school thing. I'll get into the history of that later, but basically on their website it has a map, and in the map it's got a few different things. It breaks down in regions. You understand what I'm saying? It breaks down in regions, and in them regions, it basically tells you what the average pay in this region is, whether it's the Midwest, the Outback West, or the Out West, like Colorado, Wyoming, Nebraska, stuff like that. Like it's got them broken down in regions, and there's like little spots on it where it says a city, but basically it's saying in these particular regions it's paying this much amount this week, okay? And it's updated, and it's updated every Wednesday, okay? So every Wednesday at noon you should be looking that up, okay? Just to sit here and see what is the regional average of what trucks are making per mile, or what carriers are making per mile in these particular regions. And now these numbers are also based on outbound freight. So let me say it again. These are also based on outbound freight. Okay? Now, that's just one of the tools that I use, so that way, okay, well, I see like down in the southern region, the central southern region, right? I'm saying that it's getting paid $2.50 per mile. So my goal, thinking about that, is all right. Well, now I need to get to Texas. So now I need to get to Alabama, so that way I can pick up some outbound freight that's going to be paid pretty good, and I can get a piece of that pie. Now on these regional average cost per mile, I can't stress this enough. It's not what you're going to basically be making in that particular region, because it's, again, based on trailer type. It's also based on the commodity you're pulling. It's also based on the time of the week. It's also based on the time of the month and the time of the quarter. So, and I already gave y'all that little jewel, but right there is that part too. So you may not make as much as what it states in that region. You might make less per mile. You might even make more per mile. So it all depends on everything I just said, plus your negotiating skills. All right. Another tool I use is 123 load board. Okay. And this, I do it every time I'm interested in a particular load. 123 load board has a feature on there called rate check. Okay, now other than how mega carriers do it, other than how all of these expert guru people do it, I don't know. I'm just telling y'all how I do it. Rate check is phenomenal for me, and is an essential part of my business planning and my business growth and development, is because of this tool. I love this tool. It's called Rate Check. Basically, depending on the type of trailer you can put in whether you got dry van, reefer, or flatbed. Okay, then you put in your origin, which is where you're picking the load up, and then you're also putting down the destination. In other words, what are you going into? Okay, it would give you an average cost per mile, and not only does it give you average cost per mile, that is basically the load should pay around, for your particular trailer type. It's also going to break it down whether or not there's tools involved. It's going to break down how much fuel you're approximately going to use and going to pay for. It also breaks down your estimated revenue. In other words, what you should, keep in your pocket after, the tools and the fuel's taken out, that you should be able to keep in your pocket for other reasons, whether it's to pay, some of your fixed costs or whatever else. Okay, but it breaks down also a dollar amount per mile that you should make on that particular run, okay, or that particular route, or that particular run, whatever I just said. Okay, but keep it in mind, even though it's still an average on that particular run or that particular load you're looking at, does not necessarily mean that you're going to get paid that particular amount. Okay, you can get paid more, you can get paid less. Okay, but it's another tool I definitely use. It helps me negotiate better because now I'm seeing what a particular lane is paying. So if you're a small carrier, or if you are a owner operator, get to book and choose your own loads, or using a load board, I definitely encourage you to download 123 Load Board app and pay $35 a month just to be able to use that feature. Okay, because that right there helps me out a lot. All right, now another tool I use other than DAT trend lines and 123 Load Board, I also use Google. Okay, I use Google because of this one reason, and I also see a lot of people struggling with this part in their business. They'll get into a particular area where they got good loads coming out of, and they'll get offered a load, and the load that they're getting offered dollar wise, now I'm not saying miles, dollar wise, it pays amazing. Okay, it pays amazing. Let me say it again, it pays amazing. If someone offered you to run a load for $5,000, would you take it? You probably would. Me, I'm going to say, let me think about it. Okay? Because there's a lot more work into it. Sometimes, whenever you're getting paid, basically really, 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 really well, okay, on a particular load, it could be because where you're going, it may be hard for you to come out of. So Google, okay, helps me out in this particular instance. Okay, and Rate Check also helps me out in this particular instance. But I'm going to talk about Google first, and then I'm going to go back to Rate Check. Okay, Google allows you to basically, Google Maps basically allows you to put in the city, in the state, or where you're thinking about going to, right? And in that city and state, you can basically pan out to see what's around that city and state. Okay, now an old school driver told me this. Okay, he was an owner operator, but he told me this: the only place for working is anywhere surrounding the urban. Okay, now I'm gonna break it down to what that means. All right. Basically, you can find better loads or more loads towards your truck, for your business, if you're in a more of an industrialized or bigger city kind of place than what you would being out in like a small town or township, which makes finding a load in those particular areas a lot harder. So again, when it comes to getting paid that $5,000, it sounds so good until you get to the next spot and you could be sitting, okay, because there ain't nothing coming out. Like Midland, Texas, I can find loads all day that pay $2, $3, $4, $5 going to Midland, Texas, no matter where I'm at. Okay, but I know once I get to Midland, Texas, I'm going to be sitting for a few days because there ain't no loads coming out of Midland, Texas. All right, but there's also other places that's like that too across the United States, and you have to do your research, and that's why Google Maps helps me see where or what type of area that load is in. All right. Another thing I want to go back to is back to DAT trend lines, right? DAT trend lines also got is another feature I love about it. It's called load to truck ratio or load availability, and this is one of the best things that was introduced to me about a year ago when I was just starting out learning and doing this percentage thing, right? Load to truck ratio, man, and when you don't utilize this, I'm gonna be honest, like you're gonna make mistakes like I did, and you're gonna end up falling on your butt. Okay, load to truck ratios allows you to basically look at the state based upon the type of trailer that you're hauling, whether it's flatbed, reefer, drive-in, tanker. But you can basically look at load to truck ratios, and it's a map. Okay, depending on what trailer or what type of equipment you're pulling, it literally is like different colors. Like you got red, purple, and green. I think that's it. I think red, purple, and green, and whatever. But it's 3 different color maps depending on whatever equipment you're pulling. But the reason why I love this feature about DAT trend lines is because now you can see, and again, it's updated every Wednesday. Okay, now you can start seeing what states are busy, like what states are the good states to be in, because the idea is you want to be in an area or you want to be in a state where the loads, where there's more loads than there is trucks, okay? Because when there's more loads out in the market that you're in, the better off you are in booking a load at a better price. All because, let me say it again, all because there's not enough trucks. So basically, just to break it down, if you're in an area where there's more trucks than there is loads, then that's going to be in the broker's corner. That's going to be in the broker's bag. The broker is going to be like, all right, well, there's not a lot of trucks here, but there's not a lot of trucks here, or there is a lot of trucks here, but there's not a lot of loads. So basically, I get to choose all of the any truck that I want at the cheapest price possible, right? When there's more loads than there is trucks, the brokers start freaking out. So now they're willing to pay the carrier or the owner operator a lot more, because now there's not that much competition between us carriers or us owner operators and carriers. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's more loads than there is trucks. When there's more trucks than there is loads, then now we just have to take what we can get, because the market is now in the favor of the broker. Okay, so they can book a load from the shipper for like $6-7 grand and give it to us for $1 a mile just to get us out of wherever we're at. So looking at that load to truck ratio feature on DAT trend lines, again, just type it into Google and you can figure it out from there, basically, on how to navigate through the internet, through their website or whatever. But it basically helps you out a lot. So my thing is you really need to know what is on the other side. Okay, whenever you're picking up a load, your job don't just stop there. You need to look at what is coming out of that other side. And best few ways I do it is I go to like my load boards that I already currently use, and I'll type in the city and state to pick up. Alright, and then I'll type in the same date that I'm already on. Like today is the 21st, so I put in today's date just so I can sit here and see what type of loads are coming out today. You know what I'm saying? And if the market looks pretty fair, you know, like if there's 2,000 loads, 2,500 loads, whatever, I know that's going to be a better area to be in, all because there's more loads than like the few hundred you might see in Sacramento, California, or the few hundred you may see in Las Vegas or Sparks, Nevada, the few hundred you may see in Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay? So knowing your lanes and knowing what to expect like that kind of helps. Now, another rule of thumb is, and I heard LaShawn Park say it. I haven't really heard anybody else say it, but I'm going to repeat what he said. Anything, and I don't care whether it's a drive-in or a flatbed, because so far I'm seeing it's the same thing no matter what you got as far as market-wise. Anything from I-35, which is basically I-35 goes up past Des Moines into, I believe, the South Dakotas. I don't run up there that much, so I believe it goes that way. But it goes all the way down through Dallas, Texas, and all the way down to Dallas, Texas. So that interstate, anything west of I-35, okay, don't go past there. It's cheap, okay? Cheap freight, high fuel, high expenses. Bad terrain, okay? Anything east of it pays great, more consistent. Anything in the East Coast, going to the East Coast is going to be great, all right? But coming out of the East Coast, you're going to be like, it's going to be cheap, less freight, less consistency, okay? Other than that, and then you got states like North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida, which is the southeast states I'm going to basically touch on, that really does not have a lot of freight coming out of. You can get paid you can get paid really well going into those states, but you're not going to get paid all that going out of. Texas, oh my God, I love Texas. Texas is a good state going into, but Texas is also a hard state to come out of for certain trailer types, especially for flatbeds. Okay, once you get to Texas, just like if you was to go on the East Coast, you might as well just stay in there until Friday, so that way you can get you a decent weekend run out, because you're going to make most of your money inside of those regions or states that I'm talking about. Except for, again, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina. Other than that, the other two states that's never really producing a lot is West Virginia, and I believe, West Virginia. That's it. Anywhere else in the Midwest and down south, you're pretty much consistent. So hopefully that little bit of knowledge helps. Again, you want to look at what's on the other side. Some states you're just not going to get nothing out of. Some states you're going to get cheap freight out of it, all because the market there is in the broker's favor. Midwest is basically the place to be, because there's a lot more loads getting pumped out of the Midwest than there is anywhere else. So anyway, I hope this video here, I know it's kind of lengthy, but hopefully this video here is very informational. Sorry if I sound a little boring, but I'm just really tired. Okay, this ain't really been sleeping good the past few days. Got some things on my mind, but it's all right. It's all good. But hopefully this information was definitely useful to any of you owner-operators, educational. Hopefully y'all can take it and use it to your everyday advantage. Again, DAT trend lines, DAT load to truck ratio, and rate check. Rate check is the beast. Oh my God. And the reason why, but anyway, if you like the content that I'm giving you, I definitely encourage you guys to give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. But either way, I definitely love hearing people's feedback. So if you want to leave me some feedback, definitely go down to the comment section, leave me a comment. I'll reply to any and all comments. It might take me a little time because it depends on what I'm doing. Other than that, if you feel like this information, is useful and somebody else can use this information, please give it a share. Share it with other drivers, so that way they can also have a competitive edge too. And if this is your first time here to this channel, please, not only give me a thumbs up, but if you like the content that I'm giving you and you want to come back for some more, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell right there beside it. So that way, every time I drop a video or every time I go live, okay, you will be notified. So anyway, I don't care if y'all heard it over there. I don't care if y'all heard it over there. Because over here, I'm only going to give y'all the mother trucking truth. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? But on a side note, before I get out of here, I'm going to be starting a new series called Trucking Truth Vlogs. Okay? Where I'm actually going to start talking about things, that might be outside of trucking. That might be, other things. Just start vlogging. And doing more things, whether it's pranks, especially pranks on other drivers, whether I know them or don't know them, talking about my day, talking about, what's going on out here, whether that is political a little bit or, just talking, to you guys and giving my thoughts and opinions on other issues that's not just everything about trucking. So I'm gonna call it the Trucking Truth Vlogs, so look out for the first episode coming real soon. Okay, also, and it's also going to allow me to be more creative, I think, with this whole YouTube thing. So I feel like, Trucking Truth Vlogs is going to be more of me. For those who has been around for a minute and they know, the ordinary day as an owner-operator, it's basically the same thing, but more entertaining, more substance to it. And I'm just going to talk about any and everything. So, alright. Other than that, I appreciate y'all's time. I appreciate y'all watching. Hey, man, I just broke the threshold of 150 subscribers. So, on my way to 200, I appreciate all the love and support that all you subscribers give me. And all the feedback that you guys also give too. Man, it is amazing. So, anyway, I hope everybody's having fun and stuff and enjoying life and being safe. So be on the lookout for Trucking Truth Vlog coming real soon, and I'm going to catch y'all on the other side.